Hello, I'm Aubrey Shepherd. It's the 9th of June 2014. We've got pictures made a few days ago, just all this past weekend. To start here, this is trumpet vine. This is a native species. You don't see them promoted very much. They're an old-fashioned thing that grows wild all over. And this one's actually downtown Fayetteville. Oh, if you're around the post office, look around and maybe you'll see it, because there's a big vine there, and it's on that edge of that lot that was going to be a Divinity Hotel once upon a time, and now there's a new project slated. I don't know what it is, but this may be the last year that we get to photograph wildflowers there. Okay, this is the 9-bark tree, or large shrub. You may have seen them. This one's young, and that's why it's low enough I can make pictures of this sort of the flowers in bloom. This is purple milkweed, Asclepias purpuraceus. I've shown these for now maybe the 3rd week, and they'll all be out of bloom maybe before we do our next show. I hope not before you view this. You can still watch for them along the side of the highways and things, or go out on some prairie parcel and find some. But anyway, they are beautiful, and they're important because they provide nectar for lots of things, lots of insects and butterflies and bees, and also their foliage feeds monarch caterpillars. And I know a lot of people love these, and when I put them on Facebook, everybody likes them. This is a common flower along your roads. It's not a native. Can you guess? Well, usually you see them in blue, and this is a white chicory flower. It's pretty unusual here in this area, but they are possible to find if you keep close watch when you see a bunch of blue and spot it there. Well, this is the milkweed known as butterfly weed, and it's very popular, and it's not quite in bloom that day, but it probably is today. This is common milkweed, and it's okay, here let's jump on from there. This is a tiny creature that's going to turn into a ladybug. Now you see its real size. Well, actually, that's bigger than normal. Here's a flower fly, and I've got several of these, and these are cropped to try to get the quality up. And you can see even the little feelers, how short they are on that flower fly. They just barely stick out of the front. And these, of course, are pretty small daisies. Here's another flower fly. It's on a yellow flower. Of course, you can't really tell it's yellow because the sun's at an angle here, and it shows up as white. And there was no way, short of having a Photoshop expert work on it, to make it any better than that. But that was cropped, and here's a view that's not cropped, an actual size it was shot from. Well, I don't know how much I cropped the other one, because this looks like it's possibly cropped some too. Anyway, those guys were kind of jumpy. There's a close crop of it again. And you see there are little tiny specks out there on the petals. Those things are also living insects. I tried to make them bigger, and I think there's 1 or 2 that you could actually see their little legs and wings a little bit in these, and they're pretty small. Anyway, this now is a hawk. It's in my driveway, above the driveway, and it flew in with a bunch of blue jays chasing it. Here, a blue jay's dive bombed, and now he's trying to climb again under there, out of their way, and the hawk had raised his wings like he was going to jump on it. But now he's still again, and finally those blue jays got tired of messing with him. This is Asclepias viridis, not the common milkweed. It's quite common here. This bird I didn't identify. Anybody want to call me? I'm in the phone book, and tell me what bird I photographed there. It had a great song. Till next time, I'll be sure that you do your part to help keep the water clean, air pure, woods great. See you. Hello, I'm Aubrey Shepherd. It's the 9th of June 2014. Let's see some photos, all from Pinnacle Prairie, I believe. Well, actually, this one's on the edge. It's a photo of the elderberry in bloom, and those grow on World Peace Wetland Prairie too, and in my yard, and all up and down the highways. Watch for them. You'll just see a blur of white out there if you're driving fast. You better stop and look at some of those. This is a Monarda species, bee balm, and there are numerous species of Monarda in Arkansas, so I don't pretend to tell you exactly which one we're looking at. That one out on Pinnacle Prairie, and was special, different levels of views of it, and it's had bumblebees and other things on it. This is another flower fly. It's on a Coreopsis species, I believe, and it camouflages fairly well because part of its back is golden, like, there you go, you can see it at another angle, golden like the Coreopsis plant that it's on. And this is, I was holding it because the wind was blowing a little, and I held it a little bit to try to get a real good close-up. I'm not sure I did any better that way, but I didn't have to crop it. You can see it without the chance of the mistakes I make cropping sometimes. And there you can see its little wings, and you can see the relative size of it in the flower to my thumb, and you can tell how old I am by my wrinkles in my thumb. Anyway, that's one of the beauties there. You can see, if you look on something, a bug guide type thing on the internet, you can find numerous different flower flies, and they're my favorites because they're pollinators. And if you keep these flowers, wildflowers, growing near your vegetable garden, they'll help pollinate it at times when you don't have enough bumblebees. This is a tiny skipper. It's not really a butterfly or a moth. It's sort of in between. You see how it's, well, you can see its proboscis there that it puts down into the flower to get the nectar. And you can also notice that their feelers are a little different. And it's beautiful orange and black skipper. Different category between, you know, butterflies and moths. This is soldier beetle on Monarda, and I think we've got prairie roses. These are some that don't climb necessarily and don't grow necessarily very tall. They're just showing just above the grass, and when the grass gets taller, if they're still in bloom, they won't be showing. I don't know which species, but it's a prairie rose. It's not some domestic rose, and there are several native roses that grow in the woods and out on the prairies in Arkansas. Okay, you can see now it really is Pinnacle Prairie, because there are some of the trucks from Pinnacle Foods in the background. Bumblebee on Monarda, and Monarda's, this is actually the first time I've been out there to photograph. I knew they were probably in bloom, and this is a clear wing moth. And you notice you can't see his wings. They are so clear in that photo that you can see his body better than his wings. You can see part of his wings in these. And that's one of my favorites. There are two species that are fairly common here, and that particular one is the most common here. So you probably can easily find one of these if you find some wildflowers growing and see the amazing speed at which they go from flower to flower. I shot a bunch of, tried to shoot a bunch of flower pictures of them just to get a few that were reasonably clear and close. That's a sensitive briar flower that's already past bloom, past its full bloom, and there's something else that's almost over blooming right now in northwest Arkansas, and it's a spider wart, and we've shown some. Well, they come out real early in the spring, And here's a better shot of how you compare a full bloom sensitive briar plant with a one that's a little past. Of course, this is larkspur. I've shown a few of those already. And this is another native species, and it's one of the things that swallowtail butterflies use for a host plant. And I just can't call the name right now, but that's not unusual for me. But next time we show them, I hope I will. Till next time, this is Aubrey Shepherd asking you to do your part to keep the water clean, the air pure, and the wildflowers growing even along the highways.